It launched January 10, 2020. So I just want to find the right chart. Have a look at these. Spot. Let's see if there's nope. Yeah, that's the right chart. See this one. These are both good charts. The Binance one. Which one is better? Let's look at that as well. Just 1 second, I'll just do range on both of those to see. So those. I'm not sure which one is better, the US dollar or the USDT. I can see, so the slight difference between these two charts. Let me just also have a look and see which has the most volume. Markets, volume. So Binance has the most volume. Nope. Yep. So definitely Binance is the right chart. I'm actually inclined to use this, just the USDT chart, not the US dollar chart. Just simply because the Binance is basically has most of the volume. So the price action is being defined by Binance. And so the US dollar will probably aggregate all the exchanges and try to create a balanced price analysis, but I don't think it really matters because I think Binance is driving the price. So let me just use the Binance chart on the overall time frame. And look at the yearly candles. Nice volume last year, increasing volume, green candle, take the lows. Let's get these levels in. Two significant levels. These yearly levels. See where they correspond. There's a big level up there. Big level down here. So right now on Binance, the point of control is at the launch price. Let me just mark that. Doesn't really matter about the value area low because it's so low, but just mark it anyway. Got your volume levels. And then let me just do the higher time frame levels. So we have a monthly level, which is the yearly level. Got a monthly level there. One up there. Probably one down there. We've come above one. This is a washed one. I won't mark it, but it's just there. Weekly. Let's see if there's anything. We're into a weekly level now. It's washed, but we're into it right now. There's some washed ones here. All these are washed. The lowest one is this yearly level. It's a strong level lower down. There's a weekly level there as well. I won't bother with the dailies. I'll just have a look there, but I won't bother. Just to see what's going on. It's very similar to TRVL, except that the liquidity from these lower levels are being taken as the price goes up, you see. With TRVL, the daily levels are all intact, whereas here, most of them are being taken. The liquidity is being taken. We have one lower down here that's not taken. I'll mark that, actually, it's quite important. Although you could argue that's a front run, so it's been tapped, but it hasn't really, especially since you've got one right there next to it. These ones are lower, right below the point of control. And then higher up, we've got some, there's one there. I'll mark them out anyway, just so when I do the fibs, I'll see if there's anything that corresponds. That weekly's on the daily level there as well. All right, and higher ones, they're all high. All right, so these are your levels. There's a lot of liquidity levels on the way up. hide those. Put these yearly ones in there as well. I can get rid of this fixed range. Go back to the 3-day chart. Just have a look at that. Okay, let me get the all-time high in and the all-time low. Let's do it from here because I don't trust the values on the charts. The high is $3.35. That is, let's call it right. And the low is down here. Let's just make sure the coordinates are correct. Paste. Paste. 6279. All right. So you launch. I'm guessing that's the launch price as well. Let me just get that in. So it launched at 10 cents. In the first bull market. Let's just have a look at this price action. Launched, consolidate, consolidate, consolidate. You have a bit of an SR flip just on that launch price, on that first candle that created a kind of range. And so what you can see is the price didn't make a new low, made a new high, made another new high, higher low, and then expanded to make an all-time high. That's what happened. It made an all-time high at the peak of alt season in the last bull market. And from the low to the high, you had a 28x. And then it sold off to make an all-time low. So you've gone from an all-time high to an all-time low. And you've gone from an all-time high to an all-time low after making a significant gains in an all-time high. I don't like this, how this happened. I'm not a fan of that. But the reason why I'm not a fan of that is because the price expanded so much. So all of these early investors should have had enough capital to hold the lows, huh? They should have. If the early investors expanded in value by 29x, they could have easily held the price to prevent a new all-time low. But what you can see is that the volume came in here, July after it made an all-time low. I don't like that kind of behavior. I don't like it when there was clearly enough capital to defend the lows. They could have just easily made a higher low here. If they had made a higher low here, then this would have been much higher by now. It would have been much higher because that's a higher low. This volume actually should have come in here to protect the low. It's very, I don't like that. It's never bullish to create an all-time low, never bullish. And I guess you could argue it's the same situation with TRVL, except TRVL never had a bull run, whereas this has had a bull run. So there's a slight difference in that. What does that mean? That means that if there was some kind of Elliott wave count here, it's invalidated. The whole count has been invalidated because we've made a new low. So you can't have some kind of wave one. I don't know if there is or not. There probably was, actually, looking at this. You could argue, potentially, that there was some kind of wave one here. There was some kind of wave two here. That was the wave three. And then this was the wave five. You could argue that there was some kind of 5 waves in this move. And this low here, and then later on here, has invalidated this Elliott wave count completely. And so you're back to square one. Effectively, with this token, you're back to square one after creating a bullish impulsive wave, which is your wave one. So the challenge for this token is that in this bull market, you have to make a higher high. That's your higher high. This is your lower low. So there's a real test now. There's a test of this token. The price of this token now has to get back up to the all-time high, which is from where we are now, an 18x. And part of the problem with this token is you have a shitload of levels to cross to get up to the all-time high. There's a lot of liquidity levels, so it's not going to be a straight run. You're not just going to go like that. It's going to be a lot harder because you have liquidity levels. People, you know, on this down move, you know, people will be looking to set orders where you'll need more volume to push the price up. It's going to be a lot harder. If for some reason you do, however you get there, get up to the all-time high, that's good, because then you're making a higher high there. But remember, this higher high has gone from a higher high to a higher low to a lower low. So it resets. So that's your higher high. And then on the higher time frame, and you basically need to make a higher high, because if you somehow don't make a higher high, then you're making a lower high. Yeah. If you make a lower high after a lower low, then guess what? You're heading back down to the lows. And that's going to be the decisive moment for this token in the future bear market, because if you make a lower low after you've made a lower high, then you're back into, you've confirmed bearish market structure on this token on the highest time frame. So there's a lot of things to consider, and it's all created by the lower low that was created, this all-time low that's caused this to happen, and it's just something to bear in mind. Yeah. So I think if anyone is long-term investing, then there are some significant levels in the way to just take profit and see what happens. Really, there's a lot of better tokens actually from what I can see. Just what I'm looking at now. If I do a fib pool, then you have the golden pocket there. If I line that up with my levels, It's a lot of lines. It's hard to see. Look. Right. Hold on a second. Phone call. Sorry about that. I think this 50%, you see this 50% line here? You can see here that this was like an SR flip here. I think that's going to be a really key level, actually. Maybe not even the golden pocket. I think you've got a real key level here. And if you can divide this whole thing into one big range, I think that's what's happening right now. We're potentially in a higher time frame range. The high has been put in, the low has been put in. It's very possible that we range this token for the course of this bull market, and maybe in the next bear market it ranges. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to behave, but it's possible that we go up and go back down. You know, like you could just range. It doesn't, there's no reason to think that this is just going to suddenly go to the moon. And I think the reason why is because as people accumulate in the lows, they'll be looking to take their profits in the highs, and that's going to compound with higher time frame liquidity levels and fib levels. Yeah, and then you just have to see what happens. But if this wants to change from potentially a bearish market structure to bullish, it has to make a higher high. It's going to be quite difficult in the short period of time that we have. We have about a year to do that. You're going to need some kind of impulse. And I can see here that there was some volume put in here and here, like roughly here, a little bit higher up. You see this volume? And we're not even into that volume yet. And none of that liquidity is being cleared yet. Yeah. So you're going to get sell pressure as the price goes up, because you're going to get people who are accumulating here who are going to be looking to exit or take profit. So I think a really key level for continuation is flipping this 50% on the fib, which is coming at about 45 cents. So I mean, you're still looking at an increase in value of about 3x from where we are now. But I think that will be a major key level for a take profit, and potentially you could, after you hit that level, you could go down with some kind of pullback, maybe back down to the 50% here where we are now, and then see what happens, because that's what needs to happen now. You need to clear liquidity. All right, that's kind of what I'm seeing. That's like, without going into more depth, I think the problem is the lower low. And after you've made a bull run, after you've made a run, yeah? And so now you have a lot of liquidity levels in the way that need to be cleared. And then the range, the middle of the range is going to be an important area at about 45 cents. So I think anyone who is in the lows now will take profit there. And then you're also going to get this trapped volume, which is going to exit. So there's going to be a bit of a sell pressure here. So if you are in this, it's good that we're above the 236 now. And then if we do start to lose it, then probably look for lower. You know, probably look for lower. So we are on support right now. But about 3x up, you're going to hit major resistance. Okay. And ideally what you want to do for this token like a confirmed sign of strength. And even if you have a confirmed sign of strength, you're going to be into the golden pocket. So just bear that in mind. But if you do a range pull on this higher time frame from when we lost it, you see the golden pocket lands precisely into the point of control there. So there's a bit of resistance there too. So not only do you have resistance in the 50% mark, which is the midpoint of this whole range, as you go into the upper part, you're going to have volume resistance there too, which is also coinciding with the golden pocket. And then if I was to do some, like, there's loads of levels, there's like tons of levels. And I think the biggest one will be that key yearly level, wherever it is, this one here, so there. So it's basically at the value area low of this previous range, just above the 50% mark. So even if you were to get up, you could get into resistance and then you could get a failed auction because you're straight into resistance. As you cross the 50% mark, you're right into heavy resistance. So you have to see how that behaves. All right, that's kind of how I see this right now. I hope that helps. I don't know if that helps. I can't really see a trade right now. Okay. I think that's it. Warchild is asking, wouldn't it be better for Travel to follow BTC in terms of tokenomics?